Live streaming is on.
Awesome. Stream's good. Make sure that our other stream is good. Get this guy up and we'll dive right in. Go. Awesome. YouTube has just started. Cool. So we got YouTube on streaming. We got our Facebook on streaming. So let's get things rocking. Should be going live right now. Hey guys, in this specific section, what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be mastering Facebook. Okay, so we're live on multiple different channels. I usually do these things live. If you know who I am already, awesome, you're in the right place. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Cameron Garlick. I'm the creator of G-Funnel. G-Funnel is an all-in-one ecosystem designed for entrepreneurs and businesses to streamline their operations. And in this specific section, what I wanted to actually do is I wanted to cover Facebook. Okay, so you have a lot of courses, a lot of things that cover Facebook, but nobody really covers the processes of Facebook. And one of the biggest things that you need to do, right, when doing whatever you're doing, is you need to find one channel and focus your attention on that one channel first. Like, again, I get it. We jump everywhere, right? Like, I get it. We're marketers, we're digital entrepreneurs, we're those type of people. We jump freaking everywhere. But the more that you can focus in one specific section, the stronger you become in that one section. And the key is if you can create repetitive actions within that specific section, get it automated, the systems running. From there, you can always transition to other sections. There's always different channels. But that being said, in this specific section, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving into Facebook mastery, Facebook analyzation. Everything that I ever do, I always start with a quick overview, analyzation of it. So that being said, we're going to first dive into that. So stick with me. Are you guys ready? You guys ready? Oh, it's zooming in on the computer. It's like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to dominate. Awesome. So that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into this specific section. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. If you want to join me live and ask questions, feel free to do so. I put a live link in there so you can jump in at any time. But that being said, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into our Facebook really quick. So we're going to dive into it. We're going to analyze certain things. I'm going to be sharing my screen. So let's just go and dive right in. Okay. So now that we're here, let me just make sure that our window is selected. Looks like it wasn't. So let me do it right this second. Boom. That's the wrong Facebook. Let's try it again. Boom. Okay. So as we are here, okay. Technical issues, gotta love them. Okay, that's why we do lives, right? So as we're here, okay, so right now we have Facebook, right? And there's a bunch of different things on Facebook, right? So you have your side columns, you have your timelines, right? You have your groups and your different sponsors and stuff. We're gonna be diving in. So as I jump into here, so if you notice, we kind of have a repeat pattern. Like, so this is the G-Funnel platform. We kind of have a repeat pattern of Facebook. So if you take a look, very similar, right? Very, very similar. So I did this to make sure that people are used to the platform. I don't have to come in and educate them on the new social platform. So again, what you're looking at right now, this is G-Funnel. Okay, this right here is G-Funnel. Come in here, so its own social platform, its own social network, its own social pages, its own social groups, its own social communities, its own basically everything. Everything's within one spot. And then we have our tools and resources to make sure it has quick access. We leverage tools and resources. So again, Lead Connector, Flow Tracks, Play, any of the softwares that are the very best on the network or on the market, we add it within our platform. This is the reason. The reason we add this stuff is so like you, the user, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're not an entrepreneur and you're not a business owner, this video is probably not for you. Like, I'll just be real. I mean, again, I have this on my live friends, but if you're not somebody who's going to end up making money online, okay, if you're not somebody who works online or is an entrepreneur at all, or a business owner or anything, I mean, hi, nice to see you, but this video is probably not for you. This is for people that are actively or looking to become, or have already became people that are working on their business. That's what this thing is entirely for. So this is GFunnel. That's what it was designed. It was designed for entrepreneurs to come in and streamline, again, all of their tools, all of their resources, all of their support, everything into one spot. That's what it's for. Okay. In this specific section, I'll be covering Facebook. We'll be analyzing Facebook and some of the things that Facebook has, right? Some of these things, we're going to be analyzing some of this stuff. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating some action plans and details specifically for Facebook. Okay. So that being said, what we're going to first do, if you already have GFunnel, right? If you don't, create your account. Just go to social. I think I have it in the chat. I'm not going to sell it. If you want to create an account, just create one. Okay. Social.gfunnel.com. You can go to that specific site if you desire. That's a link. You can create an account. It's free. Okay. Now that you have your free account, I'm just going to go on kind of walk through it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're click on this dot up here. You're going to go to something called diagrams. So everything that I always build is within diagrams. The reason is because, well, we have to see here. We're going to do this Facebook overview, Facebook mastery. There we go. You have to, I'm a very visual person, so I have to see what is actually going on. I can't just come in and say, hey, I know what's going on. I build a system every single time, and I highly recommend any of the students, anybody who comes through our systems, they know diagrams, right? And my suggestion is for you to learn diagrams. The reason is because once you learn it, you know on a single dimensional plane how to create anything. If you know on a single dimensional plane of how to create anything, you can always advance it. Okay, that being said, so we have diagrams open. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be covering our Facebook. Okay, so first thing I always do is a quick overview, and we're going to go into an in-depth analyzation of Facebook. Okay, and there's a few aspects of Facebook. So you have your content aspects of Facebook, content, right? You have your content, and then you have your advertisement basis. Advertisement. There's also a hidden piece, which is an SEO piece. Most people don't actually go that route, but there is an SEO piece that works through Facebook as well. But those are the main things that we're going to be focusing on. Okay. And in this specific one, this specific section, we're not going to be jumping into advertisements for the next section. We're going to be focusing on content. And the reason that we are, it's not that content is more effective. It's not that content generates you more leads. It's none of those things. What it is, it's mastering your foundation of Facebook. Because once you have your content done, once you have your perceptions done on Facebook, once you have those things, it's not like you forget about them, but you can kind of go to the next piece, right? You have your perception done on Facebook, and that's one of the things that we focus on. And this one will be focusing on like timeline posts. Okay, simple, right? You already know it. We'll be focusing on that. We'll be focusing on your stories, what your stories do. Okay, how they can kind of impact some people. We'll be focusing on like Facebook groups, what the Facebook groups do, your Facebook events, what those do, and then in your Messenger, right? And then if you can get into the point where you're doing user-generated content for your piece, okay, we'll be covering those. Now, my suggestion is like, so how Facebook has built it, we have also built it, meaning the way that they have structured and built their content is the same way that we have structured and built our content pieces in here. The biggest difference is this. So let's say you're on Facebook, you're always posting, you're trying to get people to engage, you're trying to get people to follow you, you're trying to get people to come in and do your specific like action. Again, we're not talking about our sponsor, we're just talking about our post. Well, let's go kind of through those really quick so we can see, well, what is the purpose? So first, okay, we're going to go like this and we're going to say our timeline. Okay, let's pull this up. Timeline. Now, why is it important to have our own timeline? So, well, let's analyze it. Let's pretend we don't know that answer, right? I don't freaking know. I have no idea why it's important, right? Well, let's go over it. Okay, so we have our post and then we have our timeline. Our timeline is just basically our record of content that we added, right? We have our post and there's certain things on our post. So now this is in a sense what we have, okay? We have a person. So let's say this is you. This is the user. And what you're doing, and I'll just kind of show you. So let's say I'm on my home page, right? So I have my home page, right? I have my persona. So there's a few things that we go by. So there's this one first. So we have a post here. The second thing we have, right? So we have our post. We have the ability to see grid posts. These are grid posts. And we have the ability to see list posts. These are list posts. Okay. So we have a few different pieces to get it. You like this? This was the what is that? What's that? I'll just call it Big Mansion. We went to Africa. That was that one. So I went to Africa. But anyway, so you have your specific post. So let's jump back here. So okay, so you have this, right? And there's a few aspects of this. Again, why I'm jotting these details down is because once you understand the foundations of these, some people don't even care, but once you understand the foundations of these, you can then scale them. So you're going to have your profile ones, right? Post content. You're going to have your main ones. This is like your main feed, right? And then you're actually going to have your organization ones and your group ones. Okay, so there's a few different pieces of these that you'll have, and they're kind of organized in a few different ways, but you'll have this one. Your main feed will also do here. There's a limitation though. On your post, you will see yours. On these ones, you'll see kind of all posts. So if you notice, they structured it kind of the same way. The difference is this one is all, and this one is yours. Okay, you'll see its importance in the future. Okay, same thing. So let's say we have it. So let's kind of go through ours really quick, and I'll show you some secrets here. So first, you have little intro, information about you, pictures of you, friends of who you're following, right? Your life events. But the reality is what you're looking at is either your reels or your posts. That's what you're looking at. Most of this stuff is just there for memory sake. If you need to go jump back in memories, most people just use their phones versus the photos on here. They actually access these very little, but it has its purpose to bring people back. That being said, so let's say I come down. So we have our posts. What you'll notice here is there's no advertisement. This is only my stuff. There's no external stuff, right? As I went down, you haven't seen any ads or sponsorships right now. So now you know, okay, if this is it, we're going to come into here and say, are there any ads? We're going to say no sponsors, right? There's none. There's no sponsorship. No sponsorship, okay? So we have no sponsorship within here. Now let's go to our, if you notice, their home feed is actually the public feed. And who do we have? So I'll just kind of go through a few different things, okay? So we have like an individual here, right? They would have to be a friend for me to see them. We have an ad. I want you to count these, okay? Coming back through. We have another person that maybe we're friends with, right? We have people, maybe people that we might know, right? We have another one that maybe we're friends with, or maybe that we're following. Follow, subscribe. Nope, this is just a recommended type piece. So far what we have a friend, right? We have an ad, right? We have another friend, right? From there, we have maybe people that we know to expand the people that we know, right? Jumping down, we have jumping back to more feeds, right? Now this is a friend, so this is an explore, a friend, an ad. So now if we just kind of went down that section really quick. So our timeline was laid out like this. So we had, first thing was a friend. Why a friend? Trust, right? The next thing that we had, next thing that we had was a sponsored ad. Sponsorship. Okay, so we have a sponsored ad, sponsorship. Okay, the next thing that we had was add friends. It was basically discover people. right? Now we're starting to discover people. The next thing that we had after we started discovering people was, what was it? It was a friend. And then it repeat, there's a pattern repeat right here, sponsor. Okay, now we can see if it continues. Let's see if it continues really quick. So we have again, friend, right? So this was a explorer. Let's make sure we have that explorer. We have people, and then, so we have two discoveries. We have discover people, right? And then we have discover an organization or page. So two discoveries, and then it jumps back down to our friend, and then a sponsorship, right? And then our friend, and then jump down, friend. So now we have how many friends so our sponsorship, we have a friend, right? Then what do we have here? This is now a private group post, friend. So let's continue down this path for just a sec. So we had sponsorship, or sorry, friend, right? Then from there we had a group, right? Let's just double check. So we have our friend, right? Sponsorship, friend, right? You can see friend. And then we have our organization, friend, sponsor. So friend, right? Sponsorship, friend. I think there's two. Now we're going to go, this is your follow. So a page that you're following. And this would be following, this is your page. So we can do it like this, page, because this is going to be following. Now, again, why I'm showing you this is so this way you have an idea. If you are actually interested in understanding how the system works, instead of just like, oh, let me do ads, right? Let me just throw an ad there. Let me just throw an ad and hopefully it sticks. Well, this metric is going to be similar, right? Similar to what this system's following. So again, we have friend. We're just going to do these as green, right? Green, 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 green. I'll do this one as blue, right? So we know if these are the pages we're following, these are the friends we're following. Now we'll do sponsored as red. And I'll just do discovery as like a yellow. So if we take a look at that, okay, let's see if there's a pattern repeat. So most cases, there's a pattern repeat in things, meaning there's details that are built and it looks so complex, but the further that you go out, you start seeing a pattern repeat. Now, why is this important? Why is this important? Well, let's say you are doing advertisement. So let's say you're doing advertisement, right? If somebody's following this step, there's a few ways that they follow. If they're following this step, well, your ads are coming into these specific place points, okay? That's where your ads are coming into. So it's good to understand this pattern, because if you understand this pattern, right, you can maybe target the same individual, again, because we're coming down this, you can target the same individual because they're going to go so many different places, right? So you already know their profile, they're not going to go in there. However, if I'm in my profile, where can ads appear? Okay, depending on it, I believe some ads can appear here. But if you notice, I don't have ads appearing. Okay, so now it's like, okay, well, how many freaking people are actually coming through the feed? Well, there's X amount of people. Well, X amount of people, what they're doing is they're seeing their friend that they're following. I'll zoom in, their friend that they're following. They're seeing now an ad. Then they're discovering people, discovering pages, friend that they're following, and then a sponsor, friend that they're following, page that they're following, right? So now if you can start placing your ads in the correct manners, people can start seeing you, right? And you, right? And you, right? But imagine this. Imagine I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay, I just saw my friend. My friend did the best post and oh my gosh, right? there's relevancy there. There's some relevancy that Facebook, in a sense, will use and say, oh, wait, your friend just posted something like this. Well, maybe we can place an ad with something like this and get the best results, right? There's certain things like that, but you have to realize your friend just posted something, and then there's a sponsorship. Then there's discovery, and then a friend and friend, meaning trust, 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 sponsorship, trust, 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 sponsorship. So if you understand this pattern, you now understand how to dominate the this specific piece, right? You now understand how to dominate this specific timeline. So when you're creating content, because people will follow, you now know, well, what type of content do I create? Let's jump back, okay? What type of content do I create? Well, again, if you can do an ad here, right, you have to know that this is maybe a page that they're following. So if you want more real estate here, what do you want people to do? You do want something that allows them to follow that page. And the reason that you want something to allow them to follow that page is because they're seeing you here, they're seeing you here, now they're seeing you here. Okay, if they can be friends with you, you can maybe even cover something like this, right? A little bit harder to do, right? But you have so many things that you can cover, right? So your advertisement, you can't really do so much of this page, but what you can do, since this organization does the same thing, right? Whether it's theirs or not, right? There's going to be content that's generated, right? So now let's say these are the posts. Okay, well, you're going to, if you can get them to now follow you, you get another placement right here. So now if you can do an ad here, you have a placement there. If you can do an ad there, think about this. Friend, discovery. Friend, you. Friend, friend, you. Now, think about that pattern for just a sec. Friend, trust. They trust their friends. That's why they follow their friends. Whether, again, you have your own personal page, which is a good way to do it, or you have a company page, which is a good way to do it, or you have both. So you have your friends, right? Then you have your sponsorship. Discover, discover. These are going to be unknowns, maybe. Sponsorship, you. So now it comes down to, again, you have a lot of people competing for these specific positions. But let's keep going, right? Because we're analyzing, right? So we have, again, this was that page. So there's that page. Now we jump down. We have friend, sponsorship. So again, friend, just jump in here, friend, sponsorship. Okay, I'm doing this research for you so you can do it. You don't have to do it in the future. There we go, friend, sponsorship. Okay, and now random group, right? This is a random page similar to that one, random page. Okay, and now what's this one? This is just a post within a page that maybe you follow. So am I in that group? Yeah. So we know that this one is a discover page. Okay. And this one is a group post. Okay. Now we're starting to get a distinct pattern in here, right? Friends that we're following. We have our pages that are coming in, and then our discover page. Let's double check if this is actually a discover page or if this is a group. Okay, so this is a page. Good. Let's jump back up here. Is this one a group or a page? This one is a page. Okay, so now we have pages. And if you notice this page is for digital creators, meaning niche relevant to you. Let's jump into here. Okay, this is a post within something that you're following, which is a group. So we had our friend and then we had this. So let's make sure that this is done correctly. This is actually a group. This is a group that we're following. So let's remove that. So a group that we're following. Okay, so a group that we're following. Okay, discover page. Now let's keep going. seeing if there's anything else. Again, this is going to tell us whether we post content within a group, whether we post content within a actual organization, whether we post content just on our own pages. It's going to tell us basically everything just by following this thing. Okay, so now we take a look. Here's another discovery. So let's just see. So we had, this is some random page, right? Some random one that we're not following that we might be interested in, right? Maybe, maybe not. Now we have this one, right? So again, this one is a page that we, again, a page. So anytime it's a discovery, it goes to a page, right? Anytime that it's a group, it's something that we're already following. Jumping down, now we have our friend. So again, group that are following, we have a friend here. So what do you think will probably come up in the next little bit? A discovery or a sponsor, right? Now look, here's a discovery and here's a sponsor. Both there. So you can start getting these, again, discovery, right? Sponsor. Once you start pasting these, you start seeing the pattern. Sponsor. What's this? Right? This is somebody that you're following. That you can subscribe to them, you can do something, but you have somebody that you're following, right? Another person maybe you're following. So friend, let's jump in. Okay, so following, friend, you're following, group. So then we jump in, friend, friend, group. Okay, let's see now if that is a pattern. So we have discovery page, right? Then we have a group. Okay, it shows a friend. So what we do is we start seeing based off these posts exactly what's happening. There is a pattern here. And what will end up happening is sometimes this pattern will be mixed. All we have to do is then discover, okay, well, what is the frequency or what is the pattern in which they post? Why are we doing that? Let me do this. Because once we do that, we crack what would be called an algorithm. Okay, we would then start cracking an algorithm based upon, again, we have this reported data, do it again. We have this reported data, do it again. This reported data, do it again. Once we do that, we understand this is the entire mechanism of Facebook and how Facebook functions. If we understand the details of that, now all we have to do is plug in the variables. Content generation is a variable. Placement is a variable. These things are specific variables. All you have to do is solve these specific variables. Once you solve these specific variables, you build a system, you automate a system around that. And once you do it, guess what happens? You conquered the algorithm of that spot. You move on to the next, okay? So let's just kind of still go through this. So we have our group. All right, so we have our friend, here's our group post, right? Here's our group post. So group, 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 sponsor. And if you need to, just follow all the way down. You will find a pattern. Friend. So now if you notice, wait. And I'm going to show you something. So if you notice this specific individual, what is their focus? They have dominated the creative space of social posting. They have dominated that space. Jumping back, they have dominated that space in social posting. We'll get into it, okay? We'll get into it, what they do, how they do it, right? Again, not so many posts, not so many stuff, but I am seeing their name again. Again, because the very first person I found, I mean, it refreshed, but the very first person I found was them. So let's look for that even common pattern, because that's another profile. I've already seen that person. Okay. Now I'm coming down. So we have, again, sponsor, friend. Okay. So sponsor, and then we'll jump down to friend of a following. And then we have, again, jumping down. What are these? Huh? Let's make it a little bit bigger, because it has its own rabbit hole. These are reels. Okay. And if we take a look at the first reels, what do we have? interest, interest, interest. These are all discovery. These are not friend reels. These are discovery reels. I'll go to the next one. I'm not following. I've seen it. I've watched it. I'm not following. There's based upon our experiences of what we've watched. There's going to be a discovery, and this discovery reel is based upon our interests. It'll be our past interest. Okay. So now, again, okay, we saw a few things. Let's keep going, right? Because why not? Now we have our group. Now we have our discovery. So we have a group that we're following. And we'll go back. I'm going to go back through this a little bit so you can see it. We have our group that we're following. We have another discovery. Is it a discovery page? Look at it. It is a discovery page. But if you look, it's news and personality. It's a little bit different. Okay, but we have a discovery page. So what you can start doing is you can actually start creating these discovery pages for people based upon, again, what they're looking at, their news, what they're looking at, what they're doing. You can start having you don't have to do just one discovery page. Do a ton of them. As long as you can build enough content for those, you can do that and you can end up owning these specific sites. Okay. So again, now we have the following. Now there's a discovery page. Each one have, again, their own complexity, which we can jump into, or just not yet. Then we're going to dive down now. Group that, and then what do we have? Sponsor. If you notice, friends are kind of going down a little bit. It's now there's a density, right? The sponsorship still spread out a bit. See, sponsorship, that, sponsorship, that. Maybe a little bit more sponsorship, but like 1, 2, 3, 4 sponsorship. See, 1, 2, 3, right? Sponsorship. 1, 2, 3, 4 sponsorship. 1, 2, 3 sponsorship. 1, 2, 3, 4 sponsorship. Whoa, we just found a pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now it's the tap pattern. So if you notice what like a jab is, what is a jab? It's tap, tap, hit. Tap, 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 hit. Tap, 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 hit. So now there's a pattern until it softens the blow. It softens you, right? So now they have a sales pattern in here. So what you do is you start analyzing that and you say, okay, well, we have our sponsorships. Okay, let's keep going. Friend post. So we're just going to grab this, the friend post. See why we created this? Friend post. Going down. What is this? Discovery. Less friends, right? Less friends. If you notice the frequency of my friends showing up, it's decreasing down. It's starting to decrease down. Discovery, right? Then we have this one. Is this one a page? This one's a friend, right? So we have discover page, and then we have a friend again. It'll start trying to build out that trust again, and it'll try to break us down again, right? We have another friend, friend. And then what we're going to do, again, we're going to do this for a little bit, and then we're going to start finding these common patterns, because we can do this for any specific structure. But weird how that spacing is, right? Sponsor, sponsor, right? Weird how that spacing is. You start to see. Okay, then I'll come down, group, right? This is the group that you're following. And weirdly, do you notice more and more people, like if you're members of that group, the more that you're involved in that group, the more posts that you're seeing in that group. Crazy, right? Group. So again, we have our this, we have our group, we have our discovery page. And then you'll notice another friend. Like, have you seen too many friends in here? Same person, right? Have you seen too many friends in here? Like there's some mix of there, but if you notice the friends and how the friends work, right? It's showing the same type of people. See, like Hermosi is now, this becomes a page that we're following, right? A page that we're following. So come in, right? Friend, page. So now this jumps into the same thing, but this comes into a, let me just check if it's a discovery page or not. He has a page, let me just check. This is friend, okay. It is just his page. So this is the first page that it's given you. So here we go. That following page. So now you notice that following the pages, I don't get a lot of pages, content from pages. Let me just go into following. Okay. I don't get a lot of pages I'm following, right? Because this one, I'm following this page, but if I jump back, like again, that's what they posted. The only other ones are maybe like this one. That's a private group. So if you looked at everything I did, I went through this. This is the first quote unquote page that I'm getting. First page. Right? Has a lot of followers, but that's the first page that I'm getting. Then I jump down to sponsorship again. Okay. My suggestion is this, and this would be my challenge for you. Do the same thing, because if you do the same thing, all we have to do is have 5 people record the results, and now we know the outcomes of their algorithm. Very, very easy, right? I'll show you this. So this is a private page, right? Let's view this page. Invite, I'm joined. So this is another one of those pages, right? So this is a page that I'm following. So again, we have a sponsorship here. And then we jump back into a, let me jump back. So this is a group. Again, group. Okay. So we know that groups are now the highest. I mean, look at this. Another group, right? So this is group. This is group. We can easily see that the groups are, again, there's more group content coming out. Now we'll come down, see if there's a connection pattern. We have our friend. All right, friend, following. A repeat friend. You didn't see all my other friends, right? Repeat friend. Another repeat, or I don't know if he was repeat, maybe new friend. Okay, friend, sponsor. Group. Okay. I know this is maybe tedious. It's like, well, why am I still going through? Right? Friend. We're going to do one more sponsor, and then we're going to start finding a pattern, okay? We have this one. This one is friend. This one is going to be a friend. And this one's going to be an update. Sponsor. Okay, let's start finding some patterns here. Okay, so now the question is how many people are actually updating their profiles like this? So you see, so-and-so updated their profile, right? And then we have a sponsor, right? Sponsor. And then we have this other, in a sense, this other sponsor. Right? So this specific one, it looks like it's a private group more than anything. So we have sponsor, back to groups. Okay. So let's find a pattern really quick. We went through that process. That was tedious, right? Right? Because then we have this one. We have quite a few other ones, like that one's there. We start having friends. Friends were with so-and-so. And then we start having, again, client on demand sponsors, right? Your friends have liked this one. So now there's more trust. These ones are not so trust. Like, let's see if we can find another sponsor. I'll find another sponsor right here. Right? No friends have liked that one. we're starting to build some trust there, right? We're starting to build some. So let's jump back. Okay, so now we know that, okay, here's some sponsors. So let's come over here. So we have some placement. The placement comes into a pattern, and we're going to copy this pattern. Okay, and there's going to be, again, a specific cost for these guys right here. Here we go. I'm just going to connect them. Because based on this, we're going to see how many ads that we actually have to run. If we're targeting the same people, this is the same people, right? How many times do we actually have to run, or how many ads do we actually need to do this correctly? So let me jump into here. So we know we need advertisement. I'm going to make this guy pretty big, right? Because it's going to be its own advertisement module, okay? But now the question is how many ads do we need, right? If this is the case, well, if you run, right? So let's run a campaign. Let's take a look at a campaign really quick. And we'll just go in, lay it out. We won't jump into too much detail. What I do is I use a software called Ads Cook. That's what this specific software is. It allows me to do multiple different campaigns and see multiple different outcomes. So we can see like this, like your click-through rate is at 4 in a sense. We can see that our frequency is a 2.24. So 2.24 meaning that people have seen this ad 2.24 times. Okay, so now we can say, okay, well, how big is our audience here? Okay, so we have an audience of so many people, right? So let's jump in. Maybe we have an audience of here. So we have an audience of about 2 million people, let's just say, right? So we would jump down an audience, and then we can say, okay, 2 million people, of 2 million people, how many, let's jump back. Here, I'll just jump back to here. So 2 million people within that specific sector, with things limited down to those people, then we can say, okay, well, how much did it actually cost us over time? Right, so then we can say, okay, it cost us, let's say about $3,000. So in $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, we were able to hit about 2 million people. Okay, and then we can start seeing, okay, well, how many, again, like if we could hit this many people, 2 million people with $3,000, and we had that, how many true ads do we need? And there would be a number of advertisement. There'd be a number of different ads that we would need to be able to do this. But I'm going to do this pretty easy. Let me actually eliminate this, okay? And I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to break this down a little bit, not get into depth. And this is going to be our audience. Okay, so our audience allows us to come in and say, in a sense, who is this going to? We're going to have a budget. A budget will show us, again, our audience, and our budget will show us, in a sense, a frequency of how many times these people are actually seeing it. The more, the better. There's a balance number there, right? The more, the better. And then we're going to say, okay, we have our budget, we have our audience, and then we start breaking this down. Then we have our ad, right? Then we have our ad set, and then we have our campaign. Okay, this is not the attraction mechanism from these people, but what we do is we can now analyze, well, what kind of ads should we do for these people? Like, what is the best ads to do for these people based upon the trust, based upon what we need to build? We can start determining that based upon what we have here, okay? So we know coming through here, okay, there's an okay focus on people, right? Trust, okay. But there's more of a focus on groups. right? Groups, groups, groups. There's so many different content, so much different information on groups. So the missing variables that we need to learn, right, about this specific audience is, okay, well, what type of groups are these type of people in? Because if you notice, that's really what we're getting is groups, right? So we have different interests, right? But now we have to know, okay, well, what type of content are they following in these groups? Because this is what they're seeing mostly. So most of the stuff that they're seeing is that. So what type of content are they seeing there, right? Who are they following and what type of content are they seeing? So this is where you start narrowing down your audience. You start narrowing down these specific people. Okay, the next thing you're going to start seeing is, okay, what is the least thing that they're seeing? What is the least thing? Well, they're not seeing organizations. Why? Why the heck are they not seeing these organizational posts? Why the heck? Let's determine. Okay, so let's find one. Okay, so we had one. Let's just see if I can find a one that I'm already following. I'm looking for a page, something like Alex Hermosi, or a page that I'm following. Like this one's an individual. Let's find a page. No, let's find a page. Okay, so this is a group. Okay, so let's click and open this group. So now we have a click and open, 71,000 people in this group, big group, right? A lot of content coming in, boom, 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 right? This specific group limits advertisement for specific reasons, right? They do limit that, but let's take a look. Okay, there's this one. Okay, what do we have here? Mostly help, 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 right? We have some people that are posting about themselves. This is what I did, right? But you notice they're doing a sideways marketing. So what can you do? If you know this, well, you know that you need to create group content. So in these specific groups that people are following, okay, you're going to have to create some posts here. You're going to have that post content here. Content, okay? And the more that you can post in these groups, the more you get a reward because it's separated from you, okay? So the more that not only like post, but post to get engaging content like this one. There's 128 people. Now this specific individual, their perception will look higher than it is. People will start coming into that specific side, okay? What software do people use to create those, right? That. So all you have to do is do kind of the same thing. What's going on here? Trust, 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 post. Trust, 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 post. Well, what type of post are you getting in those group? In this specific group, what you're doing, let's just pull it up and look. Okay, so if I look, you're getting people speaking about themselves, about their rewards and how good they are. Again, this is marketing. The reason this is marketing is so somebody would come in here, somebody would click on them, and now, oh, small business expert. Okay, should have a call to action here somewhere, right? Should, meaning his content that he posts, relevant content, that's good, right? Because that's the one that you just saw, the group post. You'll start seeing, oh my gosh, this is their group post. This is them. This is them. This is them. Well, if you can put some type of a CTA here, you're good. In this case, you cannot, right? You can't put a CTA here. So if we take a look, all you can do is say, okay, this is everything that they're doing. Okay, this is their points. This is how much they're posting, right? So if we took a look at that, that's how much they're posting. You'll start trusting these people because you're like, oh, these are all the other branches that I'm on. From there, you'll start viewing this profile. Now, I want you to take a look. I want you to take a look at a few things. So the very first thing is this banner. Okay, you have a banner here and you have a clean picture here. The banner is going to tell people what you do and how you do it. So people gain that trust. Again, they're looking in that group and look at the process to get here. I want you to show the process to get here. This is the process to get here. Okay. I'm in here, recent pictures. So you know that you need to add pictures to the group. You know you need to have this information to the group, right? You replied recent activity. So you're going to have recent activity, you're going to have pictures, and you're going to have posts. Okay. I'll show you like mine, right? So first, that's in a sense one of those examples. You need to find all of these groups that these people are in. All of these groups. Heck, if it's the same content, it is the same content. Doesn't matter right now. But you need to find out all of these things that are there. And again, what is your goal in this group? Your goal in this group is to post. There's a few things. You need content. You need pictures. Right? And you need certain things that you're doing, engagement, actions. That's all you need. So now, where you put your focus at? Do you put your focus on your personal pages? Yeah, right? People are going to come see those, right? People will naturally, you start seeing those, engage in those. Do you also do it on your group? Now, let's follow this and let's see really quick. If I'm out on my home page, if I see anything dealing with that specific person, I want to see if I do. So first, right, 20 so on others. Let's see if that specific person that I just clicked is in there. I don't see them. Okay, but let's go down. So we like this sponsorship, right? Friend, right? Back to that group, right? Friend, right? Sponsorship, right? So we have friend, right? We have group post, sponsorship. I'm just seeing if I see that specific individual or not. I don't. So now the question is are they posting enough? Because we know that these are just random. So I want to probably advertise in these. And I don't want to just do a commercial. I want to do something that follows these type of things. Meaning, okay, oh my gosh, they're going to do this. Ah, let me show you my car. Because people are watching. Let me do tricks, right? Let me afford. You know that this is like a TikTok layout. You'll see ads. There'll be ads that pop in, but you want them to kind of match that so it matches that flow. So in my reels, right, this is going to be like TikTok based content. So if I was down here, right, if I'm doing my, let's say an ad set, I would have a different ad set for this guy right here versus these other guys. And I could put in, again, TikTok. I'll put like, the reason I can do this is I can now advertise the same type of content that I'm advertising in these reels. I can now advertise this on TikTok. Okay, we won't go to that yet, but I can now advertise that same content should be on TikTok and should be here. The same stuff that worked should be the only thing that's in those reels. What are those reels? Those reels are, they're similar to stories. Okay, if you're in here, you have reels. I want to create a reel. Okay, reels and short stories all show up here. Right, all of them show up here. Random ones, they all show up here. Okay, so now we know. Okay, that's what I'm doing there. Okay, the next thing is let's start covering again the type of ad sets that you're going to be doing, right? Because you'll have a campaign. The campaign will identify what you're doing. The ad set will identify, in a sense, where you're doing it, and then the ads will be your split test on these specific things. That's how I, in a sense, structure them out. Okay. So now we have this one again, same on TikTok, same on that. I could probably come back over here, right? And I could jump into here and I can, here, let me just do it like this. TikTok. Okay. So now that's for our TikTok ads. Okay. Push that button. So now we have something for our TikTok ads, right? We have something for our, here, let me make sure that this is all moved. We have something for our TikTok ads. We have this listed down on the amount of group posts. We know that the main interest would be actually groups. So the main focus should be our groups, right? We know that. And it's not only our private groups, but it's the groups that people are following. That's where our content should go. We know on our organization, I mean, that organization only posted one time. Is it good to have it in there? Sure, why not? But it posted one time, okay? One time. So if you're somebody who follows more groups, you're going to see more groups. You have to ask yourself, as an entrepreneur, are you going to see more groups? Yes, you're going to have more groups. You're going to have more groups than organizations that you follow. So the main focus should be your groups, okay? The second focus should be your profile. Groups and your profiles, okay? Again, if we're taking a look, so let's say, let's find somebody. So we have sponsor. Let's see if this is his page. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Okay, organization's going to have its own as well, but what's going to happen is this advertisement right here, okay, this specific advertisement that goes out, it'll have to connect to a specific page, right? So this specific one, this campaign, will have to go to a specific page. It'll have to connect to a specific page, right? And then this specific page could be right there. So now we have a little bit of an idea of what's going on. People that start seeing the ads, right? They see the ads, sponsorship, so they might click the page. If they click the page, they're going to see some content on your page here, okay? Because there's a few places that they're going to pick. I'll show you. So they're going to click your page, maybe your website, depending on what type of ads you're doing, your website, maybe your messengers, right? Maybe your messengers, depending on if you're doing your ads to a messenger or not. Let me just move this guy over really quick. Okay. So if we went through, again, a lot of information here. This is like a training. So again, I do these specific videos to teach. I segment them out. So this way things are segmented out, and this way there's proper lessons, proper actions. But this specific side is, in a sense, the daily knowledge on these social platforms of how this stuff works, right? It's complex. Who gives a shiz? I don't want to do it. The reality is as long as we know it, then we can start building it. But what we do know is we have to build out groups here, right? We have to build out this. We have to do our posts, right? So we have to have our posts. And then not only do we have to have our posts, but we have to have content. So why don't we do it? Okay. So let's put some actions on here. So we have a specific following of people. So let's jump in. Let's find that specific group. Okay. So we have people that are following on that group. Again, how many times did I see it? I saw it tons of times. Let me find it again. Again, repeat person on their personal pages. You're going to get a repeat. So personal, you're going to get a repeat, and then on these groups. So let's find this group. I'll just jump in here. Okay. And then I'm going to show you how to build a system for it. Okay. So let me just make sure. That's good. Topic, education is good. Okay, sorry, let me just make sure I'm going on here. So now we're going to build a system for this. Okay, so now we're here, right? There's a few things that we need to do. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to jump into GFunnel. Okay, I can jump into GFunnel. I have, again, a few of these different tools. One of these tools, I need to add it. One of the new tools, Currently, what you could do is you could use something called Task Magic, depending on your um, your subscription or membership here. You would have something called Task Magic or something called Zero Work. Okay, so let's jump into. I'm just going to use Zero Work on this side. Okay, so Zero Work. Okay, we're going to create a new bot, and what we're going to do on this bot is we're going to call this bot Group Posting. Okay, and this specific group posting is for this specific page. Okay, so on this specific page, why am I coming here? Because people use this content. And I think if my YouTube's backwards, I apologize. I can double check. It might be absolutely backwards. Okay, that's okay. I'll send a new recording shortly of it. But I want to post on this specific page. Okay, I want new content to be posted on this specific page. And now I know what I need. I need pictures of content. I need stories. So again, I need pictures, like posts like that. I need stories, right? I need maybe memes or something like that. So I need some information here. Now I have to find out, well, what's the best way to add this type of information here, knowing that I need that specific content? Well, what you do is you start segmenting it out. So again, I need content first, so we're going to start building out content. And how this content's going to work is we're going to have what's called an RPA. This is a robotic process automation. What this robotic process automation is going to do, it's going to run through its processes. It's going to utilize ChatGPT, GPT, to create content. Once it creates content, it's going to then post that content. Very easy, right? Post. That's what its job is to do. Okay, so now we're going to run through that job. So now this is the job. So now I have group posting, okay, and I'm going to say content posting. One's picture posting, this one's going to be content posting. Okay, so now it's content posting. It's going to repeat itself. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, so I need to repeat myself. So I'm going to say, okay, I'll have to build out a bunch of different content, right? I have to build that stuff out. So let me just do it now. Here, this is probably the easiest way. Let me jump into here and let me jump into, that's probably the easiest way to see. Just turn that guy off. There we go. I'm just making sure I'm sharing correctly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to now build this thing out. So we have a start repeat, right? And now we're going to enter dynamic information in. We're going to call it the newest role first, reputation limit, none. Okay. Once it's ready, that's what we're going to do. Okay. Next thing is we need to say, okay, crap. I need to be able to log into this guy, right? So we're going to have a cookie here. We're going to go to cookie editor. We're going to click on this stuff. And now here's a cookie, right? I use two of them. I either use that one or this one, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to export that cookie. You can jump over here into these settings, right? And now you're going to say, okay, add cookie. Boom. I just added my cookie. If I want to add more cookie, right? I jump in and I say, okay, let me add the second copy of this guy, export, right? Now I can add JSON because this one should be in JSON. Boom. Okay. So now I have that. I can then generate a webhook, meaning every time that I want that to come out, I can do that. I'm going to run that into the background. Okay. This is what I do now. So now I have this specific side, and I know I need to be able to log in. So I use my cookies to log in. I'm going to need to access a specific page. So I'm going to open this link. Okay. This is the link that I want, copy. I'm going to access this specific page, save. And now what I know I need to do is I need to create first content. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a variable here, and I'm going to say post content. Okay. And I can either do this by scrolling information, right? So I can say, you know what? I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna grab the content of these last 5 posts, which that makes it very relevant all the time, right? I might just do that. And then I'm going to plug it into ChatGPT. I'm going to write a post based on those specific things, and I'm going to post it in the chat. And I'm going to just keep on doing that and keep on doing that and keep on doing that. Okay. So now I can come into here and I can say, okay, I know I need to open a link. Okay. I know, let's see what else I can do on here. I know I'm going to need to maybe grab some information from a page, maybe, right? Let's just see. I am going to say website. Let me just find something. I'll make it easy for now. I'll just make it easy. Okay. So I'm going to have ChatGPT. I'm going to do ChatGPT 4 on there. Again, I'm going to grab a variable. So it's going to save the answer to a variable. I don't have it yet, right? But it's going to save this answer here. I'm actually going to, let me just create one. Enter variable name. This is post, or I'll put content. Create variable, okay? Then I'm going to come right here. It's going to go into the variables. It's going to save my response into that content. So I'm going to, I have a missing piece here. Next thing it's going to do is it's going to then follow these specific things. So I come right here, right? So I would need to inspect this. Something to write. So I can say, I need you to find this. Something to write. We'll just come into here and I'm just going to say, okay, do I want this? Right? Let me see. I think I actually have a better app for this guy. Right there. Copy CSS sector. And then I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to add that. So I'm going to say, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to click on a web element. Click on that. That's the web element that you need to click on. Click on that guy. Okay. Next thing that you're going to do is you're going to, so now I clicked on it. Boom. Right. Now I come into here. Again, I have to still copy sector, right? I'm going to now type in that specific sector. So then I come right here and I say, okay, I need to enter data. Okay, I'm going to enter that data into this. And that data that I'm going to enter, right, because it's going to go boom, 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 boom. That data that I'm going to enter is actually going to come from that specific variable, that content variable. I'm going to save that. Okay, so now it knows, okay, so you're going to repeat the action based off of relevant data, right? So this is the relevant data that we're going to be adding in there. It's going to click open the page. So it's going to open that specific link. Once it opens that link, it's going to put specific data. I'm going to probably put a little scraper there. Put data. That data is going to plug into ChatGPT to create content based upon the reference that I added, based upon the data that I put in, and then it's going to come in and it's going to post that data. So now I come in, right? Now I write something, right? Now I can write something. So I'll say currently I'm building an RPA to automate my social content for Facebook. I just did a live on it. I'd highly recommend watching it. You can use it within your own systems, period. Okay, very simple, right? Simple post. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. I can just exit this. I'm going to get this CSS selector. Okay, and all I'm going to do is do a click. So click on web element, click. Okay, that's basically it. Let me do that. That's basically it. Okay, I don't know why this start repeat was switched over. That is basically it. And if I want to use a variable, we can add a variable so I'm not repeating content. We'll do that in a sec. So let's just say that's it, and I press post, right? I can also come into here and I can say how I want it to be a background. I want it to be XYZ. I can do that. I can add emojis, right? add to your post, tag events, right? Now I'm starting to utilize these things, right? So I'm just going to say this. I'm going to just simply post this, post, right? They're going to then, again, it'll approve, right? But now I have a post ready to be posted out. That's it. Simple, right? Simple post. Now I'm just going to finalize that. So this is what it was. So now I'm just going to say, okay, let me start connecting some dots here. Okay, I need to find, let's just see really quick. Yeah, that's fine. So now I can say, okay, this is the content that I want to write about, right? And then I can put a sequence on there and say, okay, well, how many times a day do I want it to write about these specific things, right? Again, can you do it other ways? Of course. There's software within our system. You can go into other things if you own groups, and you can do that. This is just for groups that you do not own. Because if I own the group, here's the easiness. If I own the group, I have API. With the API, I can plug that content in all day long. If I don't own the group, I don't have API. So I have to do it like this. But you realize, again, these specific people, right, are seeing the group content, the group post of people helping or people doing whatever they're doing. They're seeing that. So I want to match that and be relevant with that. So that being said, I just wanted to show you this quick piece. Again, we'll get this specific section done. We'll get a few other sections done. But if you implement it, if you follow this and you implemented it, once you set this thing up, you can let it run forever. That's what I'm doing, is I'm setting these things up. So I just wanted to give you a little touch of the information on here. In the next sections, we'll be diving deeper into a lot of this different content. But I just wanted to do that for now, so this way you have an idea. But again, I've spent enough time on this specific side. If you want to dive into some of this stuff, please let me know. You can message me. I am here to help. My suggestion, again, regardless how you're building it, build and modulize things. If you build and modulize things, that's when you win. Okay. Other than that, my name is Kevin Garlick. Pleasure speaking with you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you so much. See ya.